they never told you that healing is a hard journey. It's a long journey. Healing opens your eyes to the extent that you walk in a room, you can easily, and I had to give up myself, give up everything just to be loved and accepted.
On the thing you said, so if you're not, say that saying again with the silver spoon and the knife.
If you're not fed love on a silver spoon when you're young, you would, well, they say if you are not served love on a silver spoon when you're young, you would learn how to lick it off a knife. And I feel like that has been my life. It's like, because I didn't have it growing up with my friends when I was young. It was always bad experiences. And I feel like I learned to lick it off a knife, and I had to give up myself, give up everything just to be loved and accepted. But that's not okay. If you don't self-reflect and try to understand your own patterns. And I see like, okay, here it goes. So they never told you that healing is a hard journey. It's a long journey. Healing opens your eyes to the extent that you walk in a room, you can easily look at people and realize their patterns, where their growth hasn't happened and why they don't want to grow. And I walk in a room sometimes and I sit and I go like, daddy issues, okay, abandonment issues. I get it. It's like you read people's energy, but what are they doing about it? Nothing. They're comfortable. It's easy. They think it's normal. Nobody's like sitting down and self-reflecting nowadays, which is sad.
Yeah. That's funny you say that. I was actually at dinner last night with one of my friends, and she was showing me this girl she was dating, and she's like, have a look at this girl. And I'm like, that woman, and I didn't know anything about her. And it's like on one light, it's judgment.
Yeah.
Of course it is. But it's the work I do as well. I read people and I see things. I'm like, that girl, she has unresolved daddy issues. And she's like, oh yeah. And she started telling me all the things. She's like, oh yeah, that woman. I'm like, and I bet you, I'm like, and she probably teaches some sort of sex. I'm like, she's a sex coach. Got it.
Whoa.
Read her.
Yeah.
Boom. Because energy doesn't lie. And we do exercises where we'll do like projection exercises with people, and they think they can hide. People legitimately think they can wear a mask.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I saw with you straight away. I'm like, you're so authentic, and because people think they can wear a mask, and they think they're fooling people, but they're really not.
Yeah.
On the thing you said, so if you're not, say that saying again with the silver spoon and the knife.
If you're not fed love on a silver spoon when you're young, you would learn how to lick it off a knife.
So knowing that and your upbringing, how are you parenting?
Completely different. Like with my son, I'm very affectionate. And I always tell my son, whether you do what's right or wrong, I love you regardless. You're enough. And yes, you have your own mindset. I have my own mindset. Just because I gave birth to you, it doesn't mean I own you, because I was a pathway for you into this life. But I don't own you. My ambition in life, my idea of success, that's mine. I will never enforce them on you or make you live a life just because I want you to live it. So he lives in complete freedom, but at the same time, he's guided towards that. Like you give them the freedom, but you guide them how to use it. And reassurance of love. Like he always says, Mom, after doing something wrong, he go like, Mom, do you still love me? I go like, what the hell? I will never stop loving you. Even if you're the worst human on earth, I will never stop loving you. But that doesn't mean you should be the worst human on earth, because life is this. So it's like you guide them, but you assure them that, they don't need to do anything to get love from you, because love is unconditional. And the minute it becomes conditional, then it's not love anymore, because it's a trade. I give and take, or I'll take and I'll give you. But that's not what love is.
I'm not a parent. I have no idea when that will happen. And what I've seen because I've had so many people come into my rooms, and someone who is successful obviously sometimes comes from, well, I never had it growing up, or I had all this growing up, so I wanted to do the opposite. Similar to me. We grew up in very mediocre sort of, parents did the best they could with what they knew. I wanted to have more. And I've seen people come up, well, I didn't have parents, so I've done all these things. And I've also met people who have had the most perfect family growing up, and have grown up to go to jail and do all kinds of fucked up things. And then I'm like, so my self-reflection, so I'd love to know what you think about this, knowing the way you think and the way you parent. When I parent, I'm like, there's probably no way I can mold the perfect child, because they're going to make all these meanings anyway. You know, even if I give them things, or I was talking with my friend last night and she said they grew up with so much money, and she's like, because money was so easy for them, she goes, I never valued money. I'm like, so it hindered her in her first years of business.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so funny. You know, parents would think, I'm giving you money, I'm going to help. And my own belief I have now, I'm like, my game plan for parenting is going to be, the only thing is how can I build them up to have a really healthy level of self-esteem?
Got it.
Because with that, they can really make the best judgments without understanding, you know. So I'm like, I'm probably definitely going to say things that they're going to be like, oh, dad did this one time. He doesn't. It's like, whatever you're going to decide, you're going to decide and you're going to work on. I probably can't control that. But can I control on making sure they have high self-worth?
Yes. The thing is, okay, let me put it this way. There is no one way that fits all. It's not like, hey, take this book, read it, your kid will turn out to be an angel, you know? There's no such thing, because each one has a different personality, different DNA, different chromosomes, different mindset, different everything. But I can tell you one thing. Kids don't learn from talking. They learn from your actions. They watch everything you do. And whether you are focused on what you're doing or not, whether you forgot that the kid's around or not, when you're angry, at the moment you lose yourself, that's where kids are watching and learning. Every single thing from the age of 1, they watch. And I know that a lot of people say, okay, but he's 1 year old, he doesn't get it. No, they get it. Their subconscious mind has no age. It's a storage unit. Everything they hear, everything they see gets stored in there. And then as they grow up, that storage gets released, and then they process it as they grow up. But everything gets stored there. So you got to be very careful when it comes to how you act and what you say in front of the kids. And I've heard a story like of a successful man, very successful man, and his brother was an alcoholic. And when they asked them, how are you both like that? They both said, our father was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So same household, same way of raising, same everything. But one saw his father and he's like, I'm never going to be like that. And one saw his father and he became like his father. So in the end, I feel like the most important thing is self-value, like you said, and self-worth. And you can teach them that every single day by showing them that they're worth it. Like, for example, my son, I always tell him, you are not born to fit in. You are not born to copy people. Be yourself, be this, do that. Doesn't matter what people say. And I repeat that all the time. And he sees me do that as well. Like in my culture, with my tattoos, I'm not accepted that much. But it's okay with me. I don't care.
Is it not a thing?
It's a like frowned upon thing, you know? And even when I go like with family, when I go to my family homes, my mom would tell me that I wear long sleeves. You know, I was like, Mom, just love me for who I am, you know? And if they can't love me for who I am, I don't want to be there. So he sees that and he hears that. And then I slowly start to see him applying it. For example, he was going to school a couple of days ago and he was wearing pajama shirts. And I was like, dude, you can't go to school wearing a pajama shirt. He's like, I am myself. I'm happy. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm like, great. So I taught him how to think in this way, but he's too young to understand how to apply it, which is fine. He'll learn as he grows. But for now, I allow him just to show him that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people say. You love yourself. You know you're right. That's all that matters. So yes, can you install self-worth in a child? Yes, you can download that and install it in them. Other than that, you have no control over their personality because it's passed through DNA, it's experience, it's whatever they lived, they seen. It's just be good and they'll turn out good. That's it.